Featured in this presentation are two pictures consisting of various wine bottles that were held in the Liberty Hall in a secret Prohibition-era wine cellar that was recently discovered due to renovation of the area. These wines have a value of over $20,000 each, and there were about 92 bottles, which about 40 of them were regular sized wine bottles as featured in these pictures here. And then the rest were bigger vat size bottles of spirits. All of these liquors are so expensive because they all were shipped from Europe. A lot of these wines and liquors were made in colonial eras, so if you wanted a good batch of wine or liquor, you had to get them shipped from overseas or be a worldly person and be able to go back and forth from Europe to America to collect these valuable items. The house in which it was discovered, which is Liberty Hall, which is at Keene University, and the house is historically owned by the Keene family. This Prohibition era, it is not surprising that these wine bottles were found intact and not seized, as many other wine and beer items were seized during Prohibition era due to federal laws. In New Jersey specifically, many Prohibition era attempts to control wine and spirit consumption was hard to complete due to pressures from political figures and wealthy people that would bribe their way out of having to be subject to the same laws as everyday people, as well as putting political pressures on the task force whose job it was to control wine and spirit consumption, as well as pressures and interference from local police departments and bribery in the judicial system. So it is not surprising to see that these wines and spirits are still intact in the Liberty Hall. And overall, these wines and spirits consumptions show us how valuable and wealthy early New Jersey families were, and it also just is a display of how the Prohibition era changed architecture in the area and in homes in New Jersey, as secret cellars like this were common in affluent family homes.